wanted so desperately to be wrong, to have your suspicions turn out to be a misunderstanding, to wake up and realize you overreacted. So you held on, hoping things would get better, convincing yourself that without undeniable proof, leaving would make you the villain, that maybe it was just in your head, or maybe they didn't mean it that way. But truth doesn't need your permission to exist. It was always there, echoing in every uncomfortable silence, every off moment you ignored. You didn't need more lies to convince you. What you needed was the courage to trust what your gut had already confirmed. Now, with everything exposed and the evidence undeniable, you're done second-guessing. The hardest part isn't just what they did. It's realizing how long you kept quiet about what you already felt. It's not about proof anymore, it's about finding peace. You're no longer asking, am I crazy? Now the question is, how did I stay so long knowing what I knew? But don't blame yourself. You weren't in denial, you were just holding on to hope. You didn't want proof to punish them. You wanted it to finally set yourself free. And now, you have it. Eighth, the truth is they were never really one step ahead of you. You were simply one confrontation behind. It wasn't that they were smarter, slicker, or more strategic. They just relied on your hesitation. Every time you swallowed your questions, every moment you told yourself now's not the time, and every occasion you talked yourself out of addressing what felt off, you gave them space. Not because they deserved it, but because you were trying to keep the peace. You noticed the signs, caught the inconsistencies, but convinced yourself not to rock the boat or be labeled dramatic or overly sensitive. So you sat with the discomfort and carried the weight alone, thinking your silence was keeping things calm. But silence is never truly neutral. It's not peacekeeping. It's just delaying what needs to be faced. Every time you avoided confrontation, they grew bolder, not because they were clever, but because they mistook your patience for weakness. That's what stings the most. You had the power all along. You weren't behind because they were outplaying you. You were behind because you kept choosing patience over truth, hoping they'd eventually fix it themselves, hoping everything would resolve quietly. But the truth doesn't just fade away with time. It builds, becoming heavier and harder to ignore until it finally erupts. And when it all came to light, it wasn't a shocking twist, it was simply overdue. You didn't miss anything, you just held back from acting on what you already knew, and your silence gave them space to keep lying. But silence never protects you the way you hope. It only delays the inevitable. When the truth finally breaks free, it doesn't come quietly. It roars. Ninth, they counted on the softness in you, not the steel. They leaned on your empathy, kindness, and your willingness to see the best in people, trusting that you wouldn't jump to conclusions or make accusations without solid cause. They pressed boundaries, tested your patience, and depended on your compassion to keep you silent, assuming you would always give them the benefit of the doubt. But your softness didn't make you weak. It made you deeply human, and it's exactly why you were able to see through them in the end. While they underestimated you, believing you would always be forgiving and patient, you were quietly paying attention, catching the slips, the contradictions, and the subtle cracks in their story. You never needed to be harsh or cold to see the truth. You just needed to trust your intuition and protect your own boundaries. Your empathy made them comfortable enough to lower their guard, but what they never realized was that your kindness wasn't endless. It was a choice, not a prison. When their masks slipped once too often and the pieces no longer fit, you didn't have to confront them with anger. Instead, you simply observed, collected what you needed, and waited for the right moment. That moment came, and your strength wasn't in being hard, but in being able to see clearly without losing yourself. They counted on your heart, but you caught them with your eyes wide open, and that's the real strength they never saw coming. 10th, the reveal didn't break you. Instead, it validated every unspoken suspicion you'd buried beneath the benefit of the doubt. When the truth finally surfaced, it didn't shatter you the way you once feared it might. Instead, it arrived like a strange kind of relief. The last piece clicking into place after months of second guessing and self-doubt.
I'm recycling this.
These mountains,
We're getting a GEN12.
this music, this river, these restaurants, this beauty,
Having hydro.
this beer, this nightlife, this snow, this service, this water, this wonder, these moments, these memories, these people.
It always lags in that scene, so that's no big deal. That's how you like run the benchmark in the game to like really stress it the hell out. Every video card lags like that in that scene, so. Okay, let's see
I
here.
spent the first 33
The system
years
is still
of
pretty
my
cool.
life lost. I was
Whoa.
so depressed,
Incredible.
struggled with self-image. I struggled with bulimia. I struggled with alcohol. My relationships were falling apart.
Freaking amazing.
And
I can't believe
my
it.
breaking point was when I got my second